I am Jambari Moreau, and the Dallas Wings just suffered their second straight loss. This was their second straight home game, previously losing to the Minnesota Lynx. Tonight was the Seattle Storm. They lost 79-71. Few notable thoughts from today's game. The Dallas Wings allowed for the second straight game an opponent to score at least 45 points and a half. This time Seattle scored 54 points in the beginning of the game up until the second quarter. And then the Dallas Wings started to lock down defensively. The Seattle Storm ended up scoring 10 points in the third quarter, 13 points in the fourth quarter, and a huge credit goes to the defense of the Dallas Wings. The Wings ended up losing this game by 8 points, but it's because in the second quarter, Seattle was able to get a 35-point quarter in the game. Now, the Wings have yet to score at least more than 26 points in a quarter. And they're as good as their defense has been at times, their offense has been very stagnant, very anemic. And that's something that they need to improve on. Now, speaking of offense, one of the standout players is none other than Paige Bueckers, who had 19 points and 8 assists. This was a career high in both categories for Bueckers, as she helped will her team to come back to getting a W. We spoke with Bueckers head coach Koclanes, as well as Maddy Siegrist, who came off the bench and scored double-figure points for the second straight game. Siegrist was another standout, hitting multiple threes to bring the game back in the third quarter, which allowed the Dallas Wings to come back in the fourth and almost steal a home win. We spoke with head coach Koclanes, Bueckers, and Siegrist after the game, and these were their thoughts about all of these things.
Maddy, go ahead.
Just that we can come all the way back. I mean, I think we saw that in the second half, being down 15 at halftime, and then getting it all the way to 3 is that, like, the game's never over, and if you play hard like that, and, like, a lot of times good things happen.
Coach, you held Seattle to 10 points in the third and 13th in the fourth. What did you say to what Maddy was speaking about and to the team at halftime to make those adjustments?
Not a whole lot. Just challenge them to get with each other and find a different level. Because to Maddy's point, like, if we're going to compete night in and night out in this league, it's going to take a level of hard work and effort that we have within us, but hasn't been demanded of us consistently all the time. So we're working to establish that here, and we will get that night in and night out.
And just to speak offensively, it's the second straight game where the opponent had 30 points in a quarter. And offensively, I wanted to know the highest that this team has had so far is 26. So what do you feel like needs to happen on the offensive end so that when teams go on big quarter runs that you guys can kind of counter it?
Yeah, we got to continue to find our tempo. It's hard when you give up a 30-point quarter, you're taking the ball out of the hoop the whole time. So now you've got to really execute in the half court. It's a game of runs. The more you can get stops, now you can get out and run in the open floor. But I didn't even think we were good in the open floor tonight. I thought we gave up a ton of, we weren't very good in advantages. But the offense is going to continue to get better every night, just with our familiarity and more and more games together.
Coach, I guess going off that to an extent, with Enrique, tough game tonight, would you chalk that just with tough game? Is there anything you can do to help her maybe get through the shooting slump?
Yeah, just continue to coach her and empower her to continue to be aggressive while also still, playing within our structure and really, finding ways to impact the game when she's not scoring. I think that's a growth opportunity for her. And so, the more she can continue to impact the game, even when the ball is going in, the more she's going to, help this team.
And then for Paige, going into the season, the big story was the backcourt with you and Enrique. How do you feel you guys are playing together so far?
Again, we're learning, we're growing, we're all learning as a team and growing as a team. We're not really focused on, as much as it's exciting to play with Enrique in the backcourt, and she's one of the premier players in the league. Like, we're trying to grow as a team, and we're not focused on any duo, trio, whatever. We're focused on 1 through 12 and how we look as a team, so that's really the only focus.
Paige, you're double teamed on nearly every possession. How does it make you feel, and how would you get her a little more out of that?
It's probably smart, just to blitz and get my hands out of the ball, or get the ball out of my hands, and just trying to adjust offensively to how to counteract the trap and just maybe touch it and maybe less ball screens and screening, me getting other people open, attacking in transition. But it's just something, a different look that defenses are throwing at me, which is an adjustment. And so just continue to learn and work through that.
This is for Coach. I was looking at the stats here on the free throws. A lot of zeros on the stat sheet for free throw attempts. A lot of zeros on 3-point attempts. How do we fix it?
I challenged the team in one timeout. I think we can be tougher around the rim. I think as a team in general, I think you'll get more calls if you put your chin right to the square and go high off the glass. And then we take the best shot available. So if that's a 3 or a 2, trust your teammate, trust the play, make the simple play. And when you're open, shoot it. I don't know. I'm sorry if I didn't answer that right, if you were speaking to somebody specifically. But
No, just as a whole, as a team. I'm just looking at the stats, and I see a lot of zeros, not even some attempts from, a few that we would expect to see some attempts from. So.
Sure. Yeah, well, we're going to empower everybody to find their role offensively. And the last thing I'm going to do is, again, I want this team to score. I want everyone to be hunting offense and not be shy.
Paige, I was just wondering, how are you feeling after playing 37 minutes?
I'm feeling good. I want to be on the court for all 40 if we're up to me. So, I'm cool with the 4 that I sat, but I'm feeling good.
Maddy, you talked in the preseason about wanting to be a more vocal leader. We've seen a lot of energy out of you these first 2 games. Do you feel like you're kind of hitting your goal in that regard?
Yeah, I think for me, just trying to, remain consistent, every night, whether that's being a spark offensively, defensively, and as a leader, just trying to be consistent. Because I think that's when you start to, see results. It's not if you can do it for 1 or 2 nights. It's, we play 44 games, so, I got 42 more to go, but just trying to do it every night and just do the best I can.
Coach, we're seeing a lot of looks with Myisha Hines-Allen bringing the ball up the court. Is that just something that happens through the flow of the game, or is that a look that you're specifically looking at to get people like Paige and Enrique off the ball more?
Yeah, I think, again, we've got lots of versatility, and Myisha is a really good facilitator. 6 assists, she sees it well, and again, it can take a load off, right? We want the ball in everyone's hand. We want there to be balance, and that's a strength of Myisha, so we'll continue to give her opportunities to be a facilitator.
Question for Paige. With this game tonight, what's one part of your game that you're trying to bottle up and carry into the next one, especially with this group still gelling on the fly?
I think personally, live ball turnovers. I think as a team too, we had a run of a couple string of turnovers when we could have really pushed their lead and maybe even got it to 0 or took the lead. So I think live ball turnovers, and then just hunting shots more, hunting the paint more to create open opportunities for myself and my teammates, and then just continue to find my voice as a leader on the team.
Go, Rob on the Zoom.
Thank you. Rob Chianza from the Podium Finish. My question's for both Paige and Maddy. Paige, beyond the 19 points, you had some key assists to keep things close, including this assist to Maddy in the final moments. What's an on-court chemistry like for you to build upon with Maddy and your teammates? And for Maddy, while it's not the result that the team wanted, how encouraged are you by the growing rhythm between you and Paige right now?
Yeah, Maddy's extremely to play with, extremely easy to play with. She is very smart, and I felt like a lot of our 2-man action worked really well. She can shoot from all 3 levels, and so she's always a threat on the floor. And as far as our continued chemistry, I think I talked about before, we're all just growing, so getting more reps in practice and games helps us continue to do that.
Yeah, I think just continuing to grow, on the court, obviously, familiar, playing the Big East against each other a little bit, a lot better playing with each other, but both came from systems kind of, in college, so a 5-out, so it's kind of cool to be able to play it together, and obviously the 2-man was working tonight and just continuing to, build upon that.
Okay, for Coach, Tier McCown had a bounce back performance tonight. Just what did you see from her in this game?
Yeah, just proud of her for making the most of her opportunity and impacting this team in a positive way when her number was called. We needed a spark, and she came in and was fantastic. And again, I just am preaching that if you come in and play with that positive energy and you play hard, good things are going to happen. And I think you saw that with T tonight.
Jack on the Zoom, go ahead.
Yeah, hi, Paige. I know it's only, one game, but do you feel a difference from, tonight compared to your debut, just in terms of your comfort level out there?
Comfort's not really the thing that I'm looking for. Like I talk about almost every day, we're just trying to find a level as a team of competitive spirit, and I think that's growing from game to game. I think we carry it for quarters, and then we have lapses throughout the game that let teams go on runs and get leads, and then we're playing catch up, and we've done a good job of fighting back in those situations, but we got to figure out how to minimize those mental lapses and really play an entire 40 minutes together.
Paige, obviously, the game, this game tonight, you're going to move on and go to the next game, which will be something like a homecoming for you in Minnesota. How do you feel about that game coming up? And question for the coach as well, is there any advantage in being that you already played the Lynx just a few days ago, and we'll be playing them in a couple of days?
Yeah, it'll be fun to play in my hometown, but regardless of anything, the location, the opponent, are focused on us right now, and so any given team, arena, focuses us.
Yeah, I like that they're still fresh on our mind, so we just played them, so we'll be familiar with a lot of their actions, and we have an opportunity to go and not let Courtney Williams and Fee do what they did to us here. So it'll be fun to see if we can step up to the challenge and find our disruption.
Maddy, you guys have an extended road trip now, or road swing, for a team that's still getting to know each other. Do you think that this time away, kind of just you and basketball, will be good for you guys?
Yeah, definitely. I think, being a young and new team, really, it's like the more games we're going to play together, I think the more comfortable, everybody's going to feel. Plus, you build the chemistry off the court. A lot of the times, like, the things you remember of the season are, the airports, going to eat, that kind of thing. And obviously, like, yes, the games, but I think, the better relationships you have, off the court, obviously, it usually translates.
With that being said, now the Dallas Wings are at 0-2, and they go on the road against the Minnesota Lynx. This will be a homecoming for Paige Bueckers in some sorts, but this will have to be a game that if they can try and steal a win, that they need to get on the leaderboard in the win column more so per se. The Wings are looking up, but they need somebody to come and run this offense and get them to where they're going. Their defense, let's see if it travels on the road, and this is a matchup that they said that they are looking forward to. With that being said, make sure you sub to the YouTube channel. Mash that subscribe button, follow us on all social media platforms, check out for the article that's posted on MorosSportsMedia.com. Deuces, y'all.